Welcome to this episode of the Outsiders Podcast. If you're not following us yet, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, we're out there. Probably saying something that gets us in trouble. Want to support the show? Head to outsidersstudios.com. You'll find membership options, merch, and more ways to stay connected to what we're building. Elect Exiles, Brett's podcast, solid theology, clear thinking, and worth your time. Branden's Substack drops twice a week, Mondays and Fridays. It's where he works out what doesn't always fit in an episode. We've got a lot in the pipeline. Stay tuned, and as always, thanks for listening.
Welcome to Outsiders Podcast. I'm your host, Branden Michael Woodall.
Is that your full government name?
Is that actually your middle name?
Yeah.
I mean, I knew. Yeah. Why?
What?
I mean, it's on the internet. Everyone already could find it.
Yeah. I thought they want to know.
What's your address?
Well,
Also,
where am I at right now?
Also on the internet. Also on the internet.
Okay. Oh, to my left.
Thank you. If that broke, I was going to cry.
Brett E. Welty.
Oh.
And to my left.
Ezekiel.
No.
AJ McKinley.
AJ McKinley.
AJ is short for Andrew J. And to my front,
I don't even want to say my full name. It's Bryce
Dean.
Dean Armstrong. To my left.
I'll do it. James Henry Cole.
Oh,
You got such a good name.
that's
You
like,
have such a good name.
why
Strong
does
name.
that bring such like an austere like gravitas to it?
I'm Henry because my dad's name was Henry.
Yeah.
And
You said
and,
was.
and my,
Is.
yeah, it's still Henry.
Okay.
and my grandpa was Henry. And my other grandpa was Henry.
Oh, they didn't want to make you the fourth?
My dad didn't like his name. That's why it's a middle.
Oh, but it's such a good name.
Henry.
Henry.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, now that we know everybody's middle name, kind of, or letter.
Edward?
Com-
Mine
comment,
is
down,
Joshua.
comment down in the comments. What is Brett's middle name? And if you find out, maybe we'll send you something.
It's Eleazar.
It's on the internet,
Ebenezer.
everyone.
Maybe. No.
No. It
Be a
is.
fun idea. Speaking of comments, you guys were kind of slow this last week.
Yeah, we haven't had a ton.
No.
Nothing worth mentioning, at least.
Not very happy about that. I would expect more of you. So next time, you got another week coming up. What was that?
Andrew.
I know. You got another week coming up. Please comment. I like hearing about them. I don't get to read them. It's probably because of my temper.
Because he's a wuss.
Because I'm so emotional. I'm an elder
Can't find
emo.
What did you say, Chip?
You can't find him.
You can't find them.
That could be that too. That could be that.
You are emo, though.
Elder emo.
Okay.
I hit the threshold.
Because you're old.
Yep.
Okay.
Cool. Well, this has been Outsiders Podcast.
I was going to say, like, we were told not to talk over each other, so no one's talking. Just finish your thought.
Zero.
Now I'll jump in.
Zero thoughts. But I know who does have a thought. Or a segment for us. Which we canceled the music, right?
We
Yeah.
haven't done it in a long time.
Dang.
Well,
That's okay. This isn't a game anyway. This one's.
I need
They
40.
haven't been games in like 2 months.
Yeah, it's been a minute. I think because I hate that song.
You don't even listen to us.
I listen to the podcast every week.
Do you really?
Every time it comes out. Not every week, but every 2 weeks.
You listen to us? Oh, thanks.
All right. We're going to just do a little more get to know you guys kind of stuff. We do that a lot. I know, but it's because everyone loves it.
good.
Who?
I don't know. Me. I love it.
I love that you love it.
I do love it. All right. Do any of you guys have a song that is completely memorized?
Yeah.
Like, so you could just like,
Oh, these guys got albums, I bet. Albums.
I could almost do.
Let me ask a different question. What's the most embarrassing song you could do?
Thong?
Yeah, that one too. The thong song might be one that you could probably do. Depending on
one
what
I'm
year you're
wearing.
born. What's the most embarrassing song you could do from front to back?
Oh. I mean, there's probably a couple Britney Spears songs.
See, that's pretty good. That's
You know,
I
I might have 3 songs that I know.
This doesn't seem to be your lane, Jim. I don't know.
It's not my lane.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, like Jingle Bells, maybe. I'm not sure.
That's embarrassing.
I mean, it makes sense. So Christmas songs are like some of the most repeatedly played songs out there.
True.
So that everyone's probably got a Christmas song. I really feel like there's a couple of like NSYNC songs that could come on from like.
I don't find
way
those
back.
embarrassing.
I would absolutely find those embarrassing.
What I was going to say is Millennium by Backstreet Boys, I could probably do most of that album.
It's a great album.
It's a great album. Yeah.
I don't
No
know
Strings
it.
Attached by NSYNC. I could probably do at least half. I just need a little refresher.
Embarrassing though.
Yeah.
The Ramones.
You better watch that. You better watch out.
I'm sorry, Brandon. I'm so sorry.
You want stuff from like Hamilton or Les Mis?
Oh,
I got you.
I could do a lot of musicals
That's
from front to
Yes.
back of the entire musical.
Mhm.
Man, you kind of stumped me because I got a lot of songs going on in my brain.
Could you finish any of them?
I mean, probably,
All right.
but I don't know an embarrassing song. So
That's his question.
I
What
don't-
about Shakira, Cher?
No, I don't listen to trash.
Do you believe in love after love?
Yes.
Oh, you know what? That first Hoobastank album.
Oh,
All right.
yeah.
At one, don't judge a book by its cover. Just because it has the reason on it, that entire rest of that album is heavy,
All right.
super heavy. Just saying.
I literally don't know what you're talking about.
Well,
Up until 30 seconds ago, I thought Hoobastank was a joke.
no, it's a band.
I get it now.
Really?
I knew it.
He's just joking.
I was.
Dang you.
I know.
Why you always gotta give
The
me
joke is it's so dry. The humor is so dry. I get it.
I wouldn't know.
Exactly.
Jim really doesn't
I know.
I don't know.
Oh.
It's like that sounded like a word, but a made up word. I don't know what's going
They
on.
know
say
what-
it's English,
I don't
but
know what Hoobastank stands for.
I don't think it is anything.
What they did.
And that's okay.
all right, what else you got?
Yeah.
All right.
Next question.
Okay. Easy one. Traveler or homebody?
Traveler.
Traveler.
I'd have to say homebody.
Both.
I was thinking that too. Like,
Nah.
I feel like it's whatever the rest of my family wants to do.
People pleaser.
Yes. Pretty much.
I like to travel lots. I also like to be home lots.
If I like,
I am big lots.
I could like take a week off of work and it could just be like, it could be to go on a cruise or to go drive to a city or do something or whatever. Or I could also just stay home the whole time and I'd be perfectly happy.
I'm going to amend my answer to I think homebody. If by homebody you mean like routine, I prefer routine. I prefer the rhythms of like going to work and like I guess if that's what you mean, I would say probably homebody. I don't like taking a week off and like not working and not doing stuff. I guess.
All right. So if you had to pick the universe of one movie or game or just like book that just has its own different world, where would you like to live instead?
Do I get to pick where I live in the world?
Yeah, sure.
We're talking in real places,
They don't have to be.
like
They can be.
Tralfamadorian.
Yeah, you could go to, I mean, if you want to go to Narnia.
I want to say Kilgore Trout, but he was a made up fictional character by I can't think of his name right now. Wrote Sirens of Titan, Firehouse 5, Kurt Vonnegut Jr.
I would.
And
Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, and Kilgore Trout is his alter ego kind of guy. He keeps showing up in his stuff.
I'd want to live in the Hunger Games, but in the capital.
Those people are too weird.
You feel like a capital guy to me.
Yeah.
If you're going to live in the Hunger Games, you want to be in the
Yeah, I would definitely want to be in the capital. But they all got really good food. I mean, until the end. But whatever, it's fine.
I don't want to live in Tolkien's universe. Specifically, I think I'd live in Rohan.
Mm.
I like them. I like that vibe.
Feel like you'd have to grow your hair out.
Yeah, or I could become an orc.
think that's how that works.
Oh, they're elves. They're elves. I forgot.
Andrew?
I'm thinking I could go two ways on this because I do like Middle Earth, but I think I could also be down with like the universe of like Star Trek Next Generation. It's like where like space travel is just a normal thing, but you could also like live on Earth and it's not weird because Earth isn't like destroyed or gone because we used it up kind of a thing. It's still there. Oh, that'd be cool.
Brett?
I don't think I could think of a book, but I think I would like a slower life, like living somewhere quieter, something more.
Walden.
New Zealand.
Yeah, I mean something just aesthetically nice, but I don't really have anywhere to be. Be nice.
Middle Earth.
Sure, like that, but just yeah.
You want the Shire. You want the Shire.
You want the Shire? Exactly.
Probably. Yeah, that's probably more my speed. I
You're
mean,
a hobbit, just a really tall one.
yeah, probably. I mean, I'd probably like the style of life. If money and time, if there's no reason to do anything, like to work, provide.
They all work.
Sure, whatever you say.
They work in their gardens.
Yeah, they work in the
Yeah,
garden.
there you go.
What's your opinion on doorknob placement?
Functional.
Not in the middle?
Functional.
Okay.
Whatever that means.
We're talking about enemy love. Love your enemies today, buddies. All those enemies that are commenting us on Facebook, you're not my enemy. But right now you are. Anyways. Andrew, will you read us some scriptures?
Sure. How about like Matthew 5:43 through 48?
Heck yeah. Come on. Let's go.
All right. You have heard that it was said, you shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I say to you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, so that you may be sons of your Father who is in heaven. For he who makes his sun rise on the evil and on the good, and sends rain on the just and on the unjust. For if you love those who love you, what reward do you have? Do not even the tax collectors do the same? And if you greet only your brothers, what more are you doing than others? Do not even the Gentiles do the same? You, therefore, must be perfect, as your heavenly Father is perfect.
So we often wait for the big enemy. But today we're going to really focus in on who do we consider enemies in our everyday life. Could it be the user, someone who calls only when they need something? Or the drain, the person whose name on your caller ID, like mine, to all of you guys, makes you sigh in disgust.
You are not the person that makes me do that.
I usually delete them, but the critic, the family member who only finds flaws in you, or the rival, the person that you might secretly be trying to go against or one up. These are practical things that we go through every day, and usually they eat away at the back of our minds. I'm like, am I doing enough to get above this person or to ignore this person? Am I saying the right things that make me seem superior? These are our enemies, quote unquote, that we make up in our mind. But who is our real enemy in this world?
Satan.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else?
Sin.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's me.
Mm-hmm. So why would Jesus call us to love people that are technically, by the book, totally against or different than us?
I think to say the assumption is that the enemy is real is not necessarily the case. Sometimes we have enemies in our own minds that aren't actually enemies, or the enemy is because you have feelings against them. I think when we talk about loving your enemies, it's not so much about what other people are doing to you, but it's more your response to all the things that are happening before you. And so that person may or may not be an enemy, but like the examples that you read to us just a minute ago, none of those people are actually an enemy. Maybe they make you feel a certain way. They drain you of energy. They They're not encouraging. That doesn't necessarily mean they're calling you thinking, I am your enemy and I'm going to attack you. But just like oil and water, you don't mix. And so when Jesus says, love your enemy, he means not only those who are actually your enemy, like in this context, like a Samaritan or someone from another country that could have real anger towards you, but even just those who you think are against you, and maybe it's not as aggressive as a military enemy, but it's still just as detrimental to your soul.
And I think if a lot of people, I think today, would point at the big bads, right? We can say government is bad. Government is my enemy. They are against me. Or big corporations. These people are against me. They don't care about me. Ultimately, we have no real interaction with these people. So would they be our enemy?
Well, again, I think it comes down to verse 44 says, those who persecute you. So the government may or may not be persecuting you personally. I mean, you just might not agree with the policy.
Yeah.
I mean, in theory, as much as I dislike taxation, in theory, it's not specific to Brett Welty. I mean, I'm just a law-abiding citizen, so I have to pay the taxes that we've agreed upon to pay. So is that persecution? I don't think so. I don't like it. But I think this is a lot more localized than the big things of the world. It's the one-to-one type of scenario that we're talking about here. I don't think it's necessarily these big organizations.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, I think though we can even we can run across those. I'll call it isolated situations where, politically speaking, our views are different, and they're not going to give me the airspace to voice my opinion, but they're going to certainly let me know theirs. I think that in the moment becomes my enemy in a sense. And so how do I respond to that? Or somebody whose moral compass is different than my moral compass, if they're not going to, again, give me the airspace to talk about it, then in that moment, they become my enemy, if you will. I have a hard time seeing anybody as my enemy, to be honest with you. But it certainly could become that if I let it.
Well, I think a lot of times people can't become our enemies because we're all bent to a certain preference too. And so if we're only focusing on like, well, I don't necessarily like that, but they do, so we must not get along. We must be totally different people. But ultimately it's secondary and it doesn't matter. But I think we hyper focus on secondary things to villainize others too. I do it.
Yeah, but this text is talking about those who persecute you, like those people that are actually out to do something against you. You know, that's so what you're saying is important for relationships, but also like our demeanor towards those who persecute us is to love them. It's not even to endure it. It's not even just to take it and grit your teeth and get through it. It's actively love those who are actively against you, which I don't know of that many. I mean, can you name Christians that are saying that right now?
Not here.
Say that again for me. Saying what right now?
Love your enemy.
Oh,
Not fight back. Take back the country. Take back the nation.
Yeah.
Bring us back to different values. I don't know that I'm against any of that stuff, but I don't know what to do with the fact that Jesus just told you to love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. What do we do with that? So often we want to take back what we've lost. We had this great time, some nebulous time in the history of this country where it was perfect, and we need to take that back.
Let's think about this though. Who's really persecuting us right now?
Fair. I don't know. Go ahead. Jim, what were you going to say?
I think it's the scriptures are probably more about our approach or how we respond to things than it is, because for us, we don't live in the time they did where they're going to have some really hardcore persecution where their life is on the line kind of thing. And it's a pretty clear cut enemy. They've come to kill me. But for us, I think we take that as like I'm going to call it into the Christian realm, in that this person doesn't understand morally that they're wrong, so I need to shoot them. And I don't mean that with a gun. I mean that with my words, so that they know how bad they are. So I have now made them my enemy, even if they're not. And I'm not loving them. I'm just making sure they know how terrible they are.
That was really good. It's really like I said, we villainized the people. We categorize people because we don't agree with them. And so then it makes it us versus them, rather than, well, where are we connected here? Where are we united? Instead of what divides us. I think we hyperfixate on the things that are divisive, which are normally secondary problems. Never, like, it's rare, I would say, that I'm not saying it's never, I'm just saying it's rare that it's a primary problem. Because when a primary problem comes, I think we all dig in. I think we've all been through some sort of issue that we notice, like, hey, I think this is actually bigger than maybe we're taking it. And we need to confront that. But a lot of times we're just bickering around about silly stuff, and then we villainize people. And that's not what we're supposed to be doing at all. We're supposed to be loving one another and bearing with one another.
So in this context, right, he's speaking to people who are his followers, right? So he's really talking about the enemy being outside their camp. And so then in that respect, right, he's kind of saying the world doesn't know the rules, if you will, and they're going to come at you with everything. And so how are you going to deal with it? Are you going to deal with it with love? Right? And I'm not talking about being passive, because when you really start to break down love, it's anything but passive. So so how do we love that enemy that's outside of our camp?
There's probably 1,000 reasons how, but I think the reason why in verse 45 is that so that you may be sons of your Father who is in heaven. Verse 46, for if you love those who love you, what reward do you have? So there's a reward. The reward is being sons of your Father in heaven, and you get that reward by loving your enemy and praying for those who persecute you. So this is an evangelistic tool. This is a showing the Father tool, is what we're doing when we're loving our enemies. It's not necessarily an outcome change. It's an outward facing thing that we do that people will see. So it's a lot like in earlier in Matthew 5, where he says, let your light so shine before men that he might see your good works and glorify your Father who is heaven. Well, how do you do that? How do you love your enemies? You pray for those who are actively against you. That will mark you as a son of your Father, and it'll mean something, because even Gentiles and tax collectors love people who love them. You're called to be different. You're called to love those who don't love you. That's what makes you a Christian. If you're not willing to love your enemy, you're not a Christian. You are not marked by your Father. You are not a son of your Father. So if we're not loving our enemies, we're derelict of duty as Christians. Mm-hmm. This is not extra credit Christianity. This is what it means to be a follower of Jesus Christ. You love your enemies. Mm-hmm. And you pray for those who persecute you. And that's not fun. That's not easy. And oftentimes it doesn't equate to something better happening. Your enemy doesn't necessarily become your friend. Your enemy is not praying for your good. But this is what it is to be Christ. Without it, we're missing it.
In verse 47, it says that, and if you greet only your brothers, what are you doing more than others? And so don't even the Gentiles do these things. So if we move down, it says, if you're only polite to the people who are polite back to you, you are living in a zero balance. We're not presenting anything. We're not presenting love to those that are hard to love. Because ultimately, like you said, Brett, like love is the center. We're supposed to be, if God loves us, if God loves the world, that he sent his son, that means he loved all people. And we are representations and we are ambassadors of Christ on this world. So that means we show ultimately love to those that are hard to love. And so radical love it starts in the gap between how you are treated and how you respond. And so when someone is cold to you, you respond in warmth. And not fakery, like you let it go. We step in the gap in love because that's how people see Christ. It's not how we, like you said, rise up, bring it back, fight back. It's no, you love. And that's how hearts are opened. It isn't by aggression. We've seen that fall apart. We see it fall apart on the internet. People are chronically on the internet in their camps divided. We see it in our comments as well, right? That's not like a jab. I'm just saying, like, people have disagreements and they think they can air it out and they're doing some sort of righteous duty. But at the end of the day, are we loving? Are we loving one another? Are we loving people that we disagree with? 90% of the time, no. 90% of the time, we're selfish, we're self-centered, we're thinking of, oh, I can't believe he's not this. So I'm just gonna like wage war against him now, behind his back. Never saying it to his face. Only backbiting. But if you really love that person, you'd probably look inward and be like, is this really a problem? Or am I just making something of something that's not there? Sometimes there are things, yes. I don't want to negate that there are issues. But I just don't think we do enough inventory with our minds because there's narratives that we play to ourselves.
The problem is Christians outside of the circles that they're in, they don't care. They don't think about loving anyone. Even if they go to the same church, even if they don't care. They want to love the people that they love. This is why cliques have existed forever. I mean, these groups have existed since the beginning of time. And we don't look past our world. And so once we start it focusing inwardly, that's when those disgusting words come out, and when keyboard warriors come out, because they don't think that we're people. They don't care about us as people. We're just someone that has a different opinion than them on the internet. And if they truly loved God, if they truly read what this scripture is saying, I would say we probably wouldn't get 90% of the comments we get. Not all of them. Some of them are pretty good, but there are a lot of them. They just, and this is not just us. This is the entire internet. This is people in the same church talking behind people's backs because they don't like this other person. They wore something that they didn't like. I mean, I've heard the stupidest arguments, the stupidest things that the people want to talk about. And it's just like, why are you tearing them down? What is the point? You are not loving them. I mean, maybe they said something mean about you. Okay, cool. Pray for them. Pray for them. Don't talk back about them to someone else. Pray for them. Love them. And ask the Lord to help you be a better person to them.
I mean, Jesus set the example in kind of the most extreme sense when he was on the cross. And one of the last things he did was say, he asked God to forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. And like, that's the mindset we have to be in. Maybe not necessarily, we're not at that point. We're not as far gone as Jesus was in, towards the end of his mortal life. But, I hope I'm not blaspheming when I say that. Is that an accurate way to say that? Okay. All right. Oh, I never know, man. All right. But
I have editing capabilities. Don't
okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, you're good.
But I mean, that's just our mindset. What we have to be in is if this person is set against me, whether it's something stupid like clicky stuff, tribal stuff, the way that we just group, Apple and Android, PlayStation and Xbox.
He's making direct eye contact.
I'm not actually, that's just because you're in front of me. I'm not actually calling you out on that. I think
I used to be.
I
you've
take
grown
offense.
past that. You've grown past that
I'm not there
significantly. But I mean, and it's whatever sports team you want to love, but part of that is also hating this other sports team. Like that's the thing. Our nature is to make sure there's an us and a them. And Jesus's nature was, God forgive them. They don't know. We have to be in that mindset, but we also have to remember that we're not Jesus. We aren't perfect. So we're also the ones that don't know what they're doing sometimes. So we got to not just pray for our enemy, but I think also in that prayer, pray for ourselves to be better.
So it's always dangerous to work out new thoughts on a podcast, especially now that we clip them and they go out to the world. But as you guys are talking and what you're saying, I'm thinking about loving your enemies, praying for those who persecute you. And I'm thinking about confrontation. Are there any texts that tell us to confront our enemies? I can't think of any. All I can think of are texts about maybe confronting a fellow brother, like Matthew 18, Galatians 6, bearing with someone who has sinned, restoring them. But when I think about judgment against an unbeliever, I think of this text, and I think of Romans 12 that says, if your enemy is hungry, feed him. If he is thirsty, give him something to drink. You will heap burning coals on his head, for vengeance is mine, thus saith the Lord. I cannot, and this is the part that this is where I'll get obliterated in the comments if I'm wrong. I can't think of a time where Jesus says, get after your enemies. It would seem that he says, help your friends, pray for, and love your enemies. I can't think of one.
I think the other instruction he gives is to, if they take a shot, give them another one.
Right, that's right before this, right?
Retaliation.
Retaliation. It's a text right before this one. If he slaps you, turn the other cheek. I mean, I can't think of any scenario where if someone is hostile against us, that our posture is anything but love and praying for them. And I think Matthew 12 or Matthew 10 would say, flee. I mean, there's nothing wrong with fleeing from persecution and, but nothing that would say anything that says stand your ground and punch back. I don't see it, but I'm willing to be corrected.
No, I don't think there is. So I'll stand with you on that.
He'll stand his ground with you.
Yeah.
Standing your ground on this.
Yes.
The thought came to my mind was the older son and the prodigal son, the one that's not called the prodigal. His stance was that his lost brother needed to stay lost, right? And I think in that aspect, that's not loving your brother, right? And it's also not loving your dad. And there is, jumping back a little bit, there's another in Hebrews 6, using similar language. It says, the rain falls on the just and the unjust. I mean, it doesn't word it that way, but the idea is that what comes out of that rain could be thorns and thistles, or it could be something good like a crop, or for medicine, even for healing. And so when we find ourselves in the rain, what's coming out of us? Is it good? Is it good for healing? Or is it destructive? Thorns and thistles.
I wish I could say most of the time it's good, but this is a big struggle for me.
Well, I've made some practical steps.
Well, thanks, Branden. Teach me, though.
This is the first I'm hearing of this. Tell me more.
I read this earlier.
So practical step number 1 would be out of verse 44, the prayer audit. So Jesus says to pray for them, to pray for your enemies. This is the ultimate practical tool because it changes your perspective. It is very hard to stay furious at someone while asking God to bless their children, their health, and their soul. And so where can we do that? In our churches, most likely, right? We got an accumulation of people from different backgrounds, from different upbringings, from different theological bends that always meshes really well together sometimes.
Just great. It just matches the perfect way.
I've never seen friction in a church.
Never. And so that could be a really good, like most of the listeners, I'm assuming, are believers and they're probably active in their local church. So that's something to look for.
Actually, I know that's not true.
Really?
No, I mean, maybe most.
Maybe most.
I just know that there are some that are not believers.
Good.
And they still listen to us.
And you know where you could do that? You could do that in your workplace.
Yep.
Instead of trying to slit throats and climb up the ladder as fast as you can with everybody behind you, maybe humble yourself.
That was way too vivid in my mind. When you said that, I was like, wait, what?
What does slitting throats have to do with climbing a ladder?
It's just used. Some people.
Not a ladder, is it? It's a people ladder.
It's a people ladder. It's the bus. The people behind the bus.
Underneath it.
Underneath it. Yeah. Yeah. If your goal is to be ruthless and getting up the career ladder, and you're not considering anybody, and you see them as other, that's a place to do it at. If you're younger and you go to school, there's a place to do it as well. Mm-hmm. The guy that continues to bully you and call you names and do all these things, pray for them.
Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin. Yeah, Steve.
Was that your bully?
No, I don't actually know. I don't think I know a Kevin.
Be practical. Like, be quick to pray for those instead of complain about those people. I think we have to do certain actions to switch the patterns in our mind to be prayer first, bring it to God first, and then that overflows into the rest of our life, which should be an outpouring of love towards those that are irritating, because there's plenty of people that are irritating. People in this room are not irritating, but I am.
But wait, you're also people in this room.
Oh yeah.
Catch-22. I think that praying is so vital because it keeps us tethered to the right thing, because you might hear, like I think most of us here, love your enemies, and we say that's a tall order. Like that's too big of an ask. That's too big of a request. I can't do that. I can't love somebody that hates me. I have a hard enough time praying for those who love me. Like I'm not a prayer warrior. So how in the world am I supposed to do this? But when he says pray for those who persecute you, I mean that, like, I think what's so helpful is like you're doing the thing that will generate the affection of the heart. Like you're not just going to make it up out of nowhere. You need supernatural assistance, and it comes from God through praying for those who persecute you, praying for your enemies, asking for the ability to love, and that gives you what you need.
It gives you true freedom in your heart, because, I mean, the more we sin, the more heavy it is because of all the consequences. Because of the consequences of talking about somebody, it doesn't make you necessarily feel good, right?
Oh, it makes you feel awful.
Makes you feel terrible.
Yeah.
And then you have this looming like wonder of, do they know I said that? Do you think they heard me? Like that's heavy, dude. Like, but when you have nothing but, if you say nothing but good things, or you pray and you ask for good things, I feel like you said, it's hard to pray for those who love you already. But I feel like when you pray for someone that's difficult, it seems to start to trickle down into praying for those that you love too. And so it's kind of like just a whole cycle here. And that's what we want. And that's what we want for one another, is that we die more to sin and we take on more love to show others, so that more people come to find this love that only comes from Christ, and that they don't have to seek the things of the world. They seek things from above. And that's the full goal. And we want our enemies, quote unquote enemies, to come to know Christ, because we were saved, we were chosen, we were set free. And so we want that for everyone. We don't want to hide that away in our buildings and keep it to ourselves. We want all people to know. And we start with prayer.
Here's a scary thought, that you're loving enemies because if they're enemies of you, there's a very good chance they're enemies of God.
Mm-hmm.
And so you were once an enemy to God. And Romans 5 says that you've had peace made for you through Christ with God the Father. And so we were once enemies to God, and we are now children of God because of what Christ has done. And if our enemies are potentially persecuting us because of our faith, it could be because they are enemies to God, and we most definitely would want to pray for an enemy who has not seen the light.
There's in Matthew, right? We're in Matthew. I think we might even come across it here pretty soon. When someone slaps you on the cheek, right? Turn the other one. Well, if I say that to the average teenager, is going to say that doesn't work in my world, right? Because what you're asking right now, really, our natural human mind is going to say that doesn't work in my world.
Yeah.
I think this is a really cool and rare opportunity, is to say, okay, do you trust God? Right? Then I would make a challenge to step out and test it. And God literally tells us to do that. Test these things and find out if they're true.
One of the other principles I wrote down, you mentioned rain earlier, so it's the sun and the rain principle. So it's in verse 45. But God provides the basics of life to people who actively ignore him. If the person you dislike does a good job on a project, acknowledge it publicly. Don't let your personal distaste blind you to their professional contribution. There's these things called common graces. We can acknowledge that those are good things. Let's come down a little bit for your neighbor. Mow a strip of lawn for them. Do something that's out of your way to show love, because that blesses people. Acts of kindness, that's a good thing. And then what we want to do is we want to practice undiscriminating love towards all people. That means what can I go and where can I be to show love to anybody? And it doesn't have to, and then don't go brag about it either. This isn't the point. We're not saying do all these things and then go up on, do announcements at your church and be like, you know what I did this week? I did all the things of love for all people. That's not the point. Big love. I am the loveliest person on the face of the planet. That's not true. And last of all, let's break our echo chamber. The trap that we land ourselves in is we naturally gravitate toward people who think, who vote, and who act like us. Move intentionally to greet those outside of your circle. Look for opportunities to make different kinds of friends.
What's great is none of us really think the same, like exactly the same. We all have very different backgrounds.
Yeah.
And
there's so many different flavors of autism in this room.
There's so many flavors of autism in this room.
We're like a petri dish.
But
see, and I was going to say banana split, but okay, we think different.
I think that's why this works so well, is because of the fact that we don't just go, oh yeah, you're definitely right. But we have different, we have different views, and it works, and we don't just pat each other on the back all the time.
That's true. No, I pat Brett right here.
I'm so glad he sits by you now.
Yeah, so sit with the loner, sit with the outcast, Or if you're the loner, sit with the big business guy. Get to know the people that are totally out of your wheelhouse, right?
But you know why this is hard though, right? It's like, it means that you have to make sure that you've actually thought about your stance on stuff. Like one of the reasons we gravitate towards the group is that they can speak for us.
Ooh,
You know, you can
that's a
pick,
good word.
I'm just red or I'm just blue, because that way they already have the line set and I don't have to actually think. I just get to sign up. And if you go sit at the other table and risk the discussion, maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. Now you have to have your own thought about it. You have to be able to back up what you stand by. And I think that a lot of us are, taking the easy way, the lazy way, which is just put your name on one side of the paper or the other and let them do the thinking.
Yeah.
That's a scary place to be, to like go sit at the other table and let yourself do the thinking.
Or just to listen to people that aren't like you.
Yeah.
And not say anything. I think that's a hard thing to do too. I mean, we're a talking business here, right? And sometimes there's moments where we just need to sit and hear things out rather than constantly having an opinion too. And maybe that brings tension into the room. Maybe that's something that we all could work on, is to be better listeners, to be more understanding.
I would say listening is a form of love. And to love our neighbor, I think we need to listen. We don't know why they think the way they think. We don't know why they're where they're at. We know that it's different than where we're at, or where I'm at, I should say. So if we want to have a real conversation and really have an opportunity to love our neighbor, we have to listen. And we need to give that opportunity. They're probably not going to come to us and say, hey, I want to listen to you. But we could go to them and say, hey, why do you feel that way? And without having an answer in my back pocket. My gun is fully loaded. I'm waiting for you to say the wrong thing.
Don't keep your gun in your back pocket, Jim. It's not safe.
Oops.
Listen to listen.
Mm-hmm.
If we believe that a church is the church of Jesus Christ and what binds us together is Christ, then we have to aspire to things greater than our preferences and what's comfortable and what we like. That's why I think the consumeristic church model, it becomes so homogenous, is because we can, like Baskin Robbins, we have 31 flavors. Well, I like this here and that. Well, I'll go to this church over there because they all seem to vote the same way, or they all like the same kind of music, or they like, all these different things. And again, this is a little outside of, this isn't necessarily enemies and persecution, but it is a byproduct of the world we live in, where we don't have to get that close to people that we would disagree with. We can curate our own life, and we can curate our own church and say, I can keep looking until I find the one that fits all of the check marks. And that, I'm not even here to make a moral claim about that ability. It's more of to say, if we're called to love our neighbors, love our enemies, love those that are hard for us to love, whatever that looks like, it comes with sacrifice, and it comes with truly wanting the right things, which is I want Christ. I want people to be able to walk into this church or look at my life and say, that's someone who has the aroma of Christ coming off of them, because they don't insist on their own way. They are able to love those who don't even seem to like them. That guy seems like Teflon. That guy can just take hits and it doesn't bother him. Why? Well, what's going to stick? I was called to love these people. It's not my problem. All I'm doing is heaping burning coals on their heads. It's the Lord. The Lord will bring forth vengeance. And I'm kind of blurring categories here, but I think it all falls in the same vein of, we need to work harder at loving people different than us, whether they're enemies or professing friends. It's all the same vein.
It has to be. It has to be. You can't separate that out and say, okay, here's the group I'm going to to start to love or whatever. It's got to be a general. It has to be. We have to take that step of. It doesn't matter who you are, whether you're and maybe that's where Jesus was going with this. Is that I'm going to jump out here on the end of the teeter-totter, and no matter extreme of my enemy. But the reality is we have to come out that way with everyone.
And so what we've learned today, I think we mastered it. We're all lovers of our enemies now.
You solved
More
it.
problems.
You solved it.
Solve the ball.
Is we are going to refuse to retaliate or speak ill behind people's backs. And we are going to pray for them. Our first instinct is to pray. And then we're going to actively seek opportunities to do them some sort of good service as well. That is the approach that we should be taking. Not anything less, not anything more. What God calls us to do, this is what he calls us to do. And so love your enemy. It doesn't look like you agree with the things that they agree with. You just hop on board. It is intentionally seeking the betterment of that person and to, just point them towards Jesus. We just so many times I get hung up. I know other people do too. We get hung up on preferential things, and we let that just steer our focus. And I can't focus in service because all they're doing is playing hymns, and this is not feeding me. And now this pastor's the enemy of me now because he's not giving me what I want. See how many times I said me?
Me.
And that maybe instead of saying me, I'm like, all right, God, this isn't about me. This is about you. And how can I be more centered on you so that you can change me so that I'm not like me anymore? And that other people can see the work that you've done in my heart and be curious about what's going on. I've had like this last week, I've had 2 amazing conversations with people that were Jesus curious. And those are my favorite conversations because they're really excited. They want to know just what does it mean? This all seems so foreign. Where do you stand on this? And I've just had I've been blessed with so many great conversations, and seek those things. Seek the things that actually matter, which is the betterment of people, love God, love people, and then go treat them the way that they should be treated. And that's all I have to say, because I just want to go out into the world and just love everybody right now.
Love is a status of your heart. It's not a specific set of actions. So we've given some good steps, some good things to think about. But if you lead with love, the actions will work themselves out. I think that's the secret is if you actually love the enemy or the brother in front of you, you will, by God's grace, figure out what it looks like in this circumstance to love them well. So it's a posture of the heart more than it is a set of actions. And so seek to warm your heart by the word of God, for the people of God, for the enemies of God, loving them. And then the rest of the stuff you'll figure out if your heart is right.
It all comes together. Usually when your heart changes, your actions follow.
Mm-hmm.
Usually.
You're saying the way to deal with the enemy is to deal with yourself.
Scriptures tell us the thing that's in our heart is going to come out.
100%.
Yes, 100%. That was a fun conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed it. Did you guys enjoy it?
That was good.
Andrew, get us out of here.
Father, Son, and Spirit, give us a heart to care for those in the margins, to show grace to those who are difficult, and to love all we come in contact with. Amen.
This has been Outsiders Podcast. See you next time.
Thanks for listening. We love you.
Bye.
Bye.